Good morning, students, and good morning, fellow USPNs. So, today is a start off of our mental health webinar series for grades 5 and 6 entitled Let's Fight Boredom. So, to formally start our webinar, let us start first with the invocation. Say, let us put ourselves in the holy presence of God, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, welcome to Guidance in Testing Services Center webinar series for grades 5 and 6. It is entitled Let's Fight Boredom. So, to formally start our webinar series, let me give you some webinar guidelines in order for us to be guided with this type of webinars. So allow me to share my screen. So webinar guidelines. So please observe the following guidelines while the webinar is ongoing. The first one is comment section is only intended for asking question during open forum portion of the webinar. Please refrain from posting unnecessary comments during the webinar. Use your USDF Gmail account upon attending the webinar. Reminders, evaluation form link will be posted on our official Facebook page, USBF Guidance and Testing Services Center, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Evaluation form will be the basis for your attendance and e-certificate. E-certificate will be sent through your email. Give us time to prepare your e-certificate. Thank you. So that's it. And to introduce our guest speaker, our guest speaker is a former senior high school guidance officer handling senior high school students of Lahu campus. And now she's currently part of the College of Arts and Sciences teaching social orientation. And please help me welcome Miss Reina Jane S. Casas. Hi, Miss Rain.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
So let's start the webinar.
Okay.
Hi, kids. Hello to those who are viewing the live stream right now. May I know who are present here? Can you type your names, please? Let's try to see who are viewing this live stream right now. Are you there, everybody? Right? From Generosity, grade 6 student. We also have Joreen. Anybody here from grade 5? Wala na ba lain na adere karon? So I guess murag maapas ko itong uban, no? Before we will start with our webinar, let's try to kick off our mood first by starting a game. Okay, I'll share this first. Alright, as you can see there, I bet you know this game already. Does anybody know who know how to play this game? Can you type 1 if you know how to play this game? 4 pits in 1 word. Does anybody know how to play this game? Come on. Kids, are you still there? Ni. Ingon si Mackenzie, ni daw. Tamaw daw siya nga game. Isa pa. Si Jureel from grade 6 Generosity. Good morning, Hannah. So does anybody know how to play this game? 4 pigs in 1 word. Can you type 1, please? If you know how to play this game. Si Jureen, di ba daw siya? Okay, let's start. So the mechanics of this game is too simple. You only have 15 seconds to guess the common theme of the 4 pictures being presented in front of you. Okay, okay, kids. Let's start the first one. Here, 15 seconds. Who knows this one? Come on. Waling answer. Kids, is still there? Well, anytime. I'd like to know who are viewing this live stream right now. TikTok. Oh, si Aliz. Rian. Kung siya pa yung naka-answer. Si Malayset. Sakto. TikTok. That's TikTok. Next, ano siya? It's okay, Mackenzie. Just type. Kani, unsa ni siya? Kani 4 pics in 1 word. Nana naka-answer. Si Joreen, ngon siya, pandemic. Right, that's pandemic. Next, kani daw. Unsa na siya? It has 11 letters. Does anybody know unsa ni siya? Actually, ang kani is adolescence. Okay. Next. Come on, guys. What is the common theme for this four tips? What do you think are the kids doing in the pictures? Okay, 15 seconds is up, I guess. Actually, that is reading. Okay, this one. Right, may naka-answer. Oh, very participative kayo si Mackenzie, oh. Si Malaysep. Monte Claros Labajo. Right, next. I really appreciate those who are participating, no? Right, na ay naka-answer na. This is actually boredom. And this last four tips in one word actually leads us to our main topic for this morning, which is boredom. Okay, so I'd like to welcome you all to our webinar entitled Let's Fight Boredom. I am your speaker for this morning, and my name is Reina. And I hope that this topic won't bore you since we are going to talk about boredom. But I'll try my best to make this webinar as lively as I can, alright? Let's start. So, what are the objectives for this morning's topic? We will try to find out what boredom do to us during this pandemic, strengthen our abilities in dealing effectively with the negative effects that the pandemic has brought to us, and lastly, identify activities we can perform at home that could beat boredom. Right? So let's try to define first what is boredom. Boredom, as you can read there, is feeling it's the feeling of not knowing what to do. It makes us feel trapped, unable to find something to satisfy our desire to be engaged. That feeling ko nung nga nakaganahan buhaton, pero waka kibaon sa buhaton or insaon pagbuhat, that feeling na balik-balik na lang imong routine every day for an hour, like for a week, no, pila nakaka-oras na browse sa Facebook, puro tani mong sayaw ng mga TikTok challenges, diha, nahuman na kagtanaw sa mga vlogs, sa mga favorite vloggers, kanang feeling down, naganahan na kamulaag, kanaganahan na ka makig-socialize balik sa iyong mga friends. My dear children, that is boredom. Okay. There is a Russian writer named Leo Tolstoy who summed up boredom in four words. Ngun siya na ang boredom kuno is a desire for desires. Boredom is a strong desire to do something. Kanang magtanong-tanong ka sa inyo ba? Daghan makapwede buhaton, di ba? Kaso, whatever you try to do at home is still not enough. No, there is still something else you'd like to do. Another writer named Saul Bellow, he said that boredom is a state of disuse, right? It is where our mental abilities are underused daw. Wala na kaayo nagamit ang mga brain cells, and then we are itching to find an activity where we can engage our minds. Mo na ilang gipangingon, may definition sa boredom. Have you noticed na because of this boredom, bisag unsa na lang imong mahunahunaan o buhat sa inyong balay, am I right? Kabantay ba mo? Kung sa inyong ka-bored, bisag unsa na lang nagawa sa inyong mga huna. Tama ba? If I am right, I'd like you to comment yes. Sakto ba ko? Tama. Right. So here, boredom in this pandemic. What about boredom in this pandemic? Actually, COVID-19 pandemic has made boredom the most prevailing emotion. Ang na-feel daw sa tanang mga tao during pandemic is boredom. Actually, surveys have been conducted across many countries like US, China, Canada, Italy, to describe what people are feeling during the home quarantine or lockdown. Na ang results sa China and US show that both Chinese and the Americans naka-experience daw og negative emotions, especially sa time na nagadaghan ang active cases. Unsa sa ilang mga na-feel? They felt anxiety, they felt fear, but what is surprising in the result is that the feeling of boredom actually exceeds the feeling of fear and anxiety. Mas labaw daw ang mga naka-feel of boredom kaysa mga nahadlok na tagda, dapat ang mga na-anxious na. Sa Italy po, na ay ilang result nito is ang mga adults during the home quarantine cited that boredom was among the most commonly negative side effects, other than loneliness, lack of fresh air, and lack of freedom. Ano na lang ang mga result ito. So grabe jud di ay ka-prevalent ang boredom sa tibuok kalibutan during this pandemic. Na it's one of the biggest emotional challenges people are experiencing. But question is there anything can we do about that? Okay? So there are actually two sides to pandemic boredom. One side is that we have the limited options, and the other side is that we have a limited ability to form an actionable desire. Kana dili man mo pwede kagawas sa balay, di ba? Ang mga katulad man nag-edad of 18 to 60 can only go out and buy essentials, right? So kamo, mga bata, grade 5, grade 6, naara jud mo sa balay for pila na ka months, right? So because of this restriction to go out, your option to do the things that you want is limited and can be done only at your home. Ganahan ka mo adto sa internetan, ganahan ka mo bisita sa imong friend, which is silingan lang unta ninyo. Diba, ganahan ka mo laag sa mall, ganahan na ka maligo og dagat, maligo og pool, unsa pa man yung mga ganahan. Gimingaw na kag-commute, padung sa eskwelahan, like, gimingaw na ka sa imong mga friends, sa imong mga classmates. All of these longing now and desires are not doable as of right now because of restriction. Now, combining this two sides of boredom would actually leave us stuck. Now, it made us not able to move forward. And that explains ganong dili ka kabuhat sa ganahan ninyong buhaton. And now, here's another question for you. What does boredom made you do during this pandemic? And that, what does boredom made you do? I'd like you to share, comment below, or type down your answers. You know, what are the activities you did during the home quarantine because you are too bored? I'd like to read your answers. Come on. Ang sa inyo mga gipambuhat. This 6 months during the home quarantine. Anybody? I didn't see any answers here. Come on. Ang sa inyo mga gipambuhat. Okay. So here, since the home quarantine, people are doing various things, right? So unsa man nilang mga gipambuhat, what are they doing? Some people are becoming social media butterflies. They entertain themselves with social media such as TikTok, mga dance challenges sa TikTok or mga hand challenges sa mga challenges nga na diha sa Facebook. Ano ba, nalingaw lang sila na mag-share sa memes, magburot na nila tag ilang mga friends sa mga memes, diba? Sa Messenger, daghan po ang like everyday na mag-video call sila mga friends. And then sa YouTube, have you started your vlogs already? Diba? So, manilahang mga gipambuhat during the home quarantine para lang malingaw. So, sa pa man ilang gipambuhat? Others are binge watching their favorite movies or series or like K-dramas or animes para lang gid malingaw. If wala kay account sa Netflix, pwede ko ka maganaw sa YouTube. Ang sabi yung mga matanaw sa YouTube na like mukbang, or ASMR, right? Ang ubang side are starting to learn how to bake and cook. Nakabuhat na ba mo ani? Does anybody here have learned how to bake or cook? Kasi yung mga na-trending na mga foods and drinks during the home quarantine na inyong nasuwayan? Like the dalgona, the do-it-your-own ice cream, ano, no-bake cake, inyong matanawan sa YouTube. Diba, credits to the owner of this pictures, yeah, I got that from Google. Right, here. Actually, it isn't because of the home quarantine or ang restrictions sa inyong paggawa sa bahay that made you feel bored. It is also because of your age, and that is the so-called adolescence boredom. You know, you're actually at a developmental stage that we call the adolescent stage. Children around your age, 9 to 13, now, it is where you separate from the childhood stage and move on to the early adolescent stage. You are becoming teenagers now, mga dalaga o binata na mo, no? At this stage, you begin to push against and pull away from your parents. This is the stage po na mas di mo ganahan maghimo sa inyong assignments. Kaya ingon sa inyong parents na, abli na ninyo mag-deal. Ninyo dayon ka kaburing anay, matanaw dayon ka og TV, open nila sa imong cellphone, di ba? And then you also begin to detach your childhood, I mean your childish ways and wants in order to transform yourself in a more grown-up terms. For example, kumuha na inyong mama o papa, isa ko bibilangga na ko, di, mga anak dayon mga, di naman ko bata, good, more pa manon tag bata. Di ba kabantay mo ba na? Ano ba ninyo? Dili na ganahan lang bingon, especially in front of their friends, kay mauwaw naman. Ang bansad mo di man yung privacy kay conservative na, and then, ano ba, mas mag-prefer na magpuyog-puyog sa ilahang mga friends. Why is this so? Ano ka ni? This is because you start to seek independence. Now, independence in a way na you start to let go of your old attachments. Katong mga favorite stuffed toy ninyo when you were young, favorite car toys, katong mga duwaan or things that you find enjoying when you were a child. Sa karon nga adolescence na mo, you start to find it boring. So that's why it explains, why you feel bored on your state, in your age right now. Alright? Here. We're almost done. What can be your ways of making quarantine time interesting? So, muna ni siya, how to beat boredom na during this quarantine, no? Here are some ways that I can share to you in which you can do at home to beat boredom. Some lang ha. Di na ko mahatag ang tanan. Okay? First on the list is read books. You now have the opportunity to read the books or series you have been putting off. We all know that books exercise the brain, build our vocabularies, lower stress, and also enhances the imagination. If wala kay books at home, you can actually download ebooks or audiobooks. Okay, sa inyong age, you should train yourself to read books. Okay. Next, keep a blog or a journal. Keeping a track of your thoughts, activities, and learnings is always a good way and highly productive one at that. You can do this privately on your computer, in your cell phone, or even better in a notebook. If ganahan nyo magsuwat-suwat, you can do it in a notebook. Then basahan din ninyo after a year, i-process din ninyo inyong mga thoughts and feelings during this time. No? Kaya nice day mag-reminisce in your mga memories. Okay? Then learning a new skill. This could be learning how to play an instrument, learning a new language. What's a new language? Pwede Opa language, ganahan K-drama, or it could be the anime language. O ganahan mo mutan anime, right? So, or anything at all that takes time to get grips with. I think practicing an instrument can be a good fun, or learning a new language can also keep yourself entertained and constantly learning. Have you learned something new during this quarantine? If you have, I'd like to know what skills you have learned. Come on, let's read that answers. And sa inyo ha mga na-learn daw with this 6 months of quarantine na aba may mga nakatunan? Any skills na inyo ha nakatunan? Right, next. Distance learning, then have a separate and tidy study space is the key. Since we are on a distance learning or home-based learning, why don't you find a good spot at home and set up a study space? No, pahayog tabang sa iyong mama or papa or anyone at home to help you set up. No, para na kay separate and tidy na study space sa inyo ha. Pero ang feeling mo rin hapon gani or traditional learning. Okay, so actually, a clean and tidy study spot is conducive to learning while doing online classes or reading your modules or answering your assignment. Para makalipihok sa kananin kita sa inyo ha. Next, become a social butterfly. Many of us are missing our families and friends during this time. And while we have to physically distance ourselves, it doesn't mean we can socialize, in social media. You can have a daily video chat with your friends or family. If mama one, call them, message them. Okay. Next. Or you can start a do-it-your-own project. If you have green thumbs, then you can do gardening. Start growing herbs, vegetables, or fruits at home. Then you can even watch online kung sa may mga gardening tips or para sa mga indoor or outdoor gardening. Okay? And if gardening is not quite right for you, but you'd like to do something creative, then be artistic. The arts and crafts is a great way to express yourself. You can paint canvases, you can doodle or draw in a sketch pad or in a drawing notebook and saying na ano nyo diha. Then you can even create scrapbooks, right? So there are a lot of projects you can make at home by watching do-it-yourself tutorials. Sa ako, akong permit tanawin sa YouTube kay 5-minute crafts. Mga sayon lang buhaton. Okay? Then, exercise. Atong lihupon atong mga kalawasan. Let's not just activate our brain cells, but also activate the entire cells in our body. You can do Zumba with your parents, or yoga, or any routine exercise that you have. Mga sayon lang, no, kay mga bata pa man mo. And then, of course, you have to stay healthy at home. Alright. I guess, ito lang ako mahatag ng mga tips on how to beat boredom. But before we depart, I'd like to leave this message to you. The real problem isn't boredom itself, but an insufficient coping skills. That's according to Tuckman and Copper 2020. There are still a lot of things that you can do at home. Just think, be creative, and please, please, please do not resort to any risky or self-destructive activities. All right, kids? You are not stuck at home. Remember, you're not stuck at home. You are safe at home. Okay? And I guess that ends my webinar. Thank you so much. Here are my references. Thank you, everybody.
All right, so that's it. Thank you so much, Miss Reina, for that fruitful yet informative um, sharing of us with the kids. So now they have tips on how to fight boredom. So let me just recap the information that you've um, given. So, boredom is a feeling of not knowing what to do, and aside from that, it is a desire for a desires and a state of a disuse. And we can fight that one through a healthy way, like reading books, keeping a blog or journal, learning a new skill such as learning languages and writing songs or anything else, and starting a DIY project. So that's it. So let's proceed now to our open forum or question and our answer portion. And five viewers in the house, you can actually comment your questions regarding our topic. Let's fight boredom. If you have questions or clarification, you can now drop your questions in the comment section.
Right, let's read those questions. Naabot mo pangutana ang mga kids na to karon.
Mm. Kids, it's your time to ask questions to our guest speaker. If you have questions or clarification, you can drop your comments or your question to the comment section um, box or okay. So I guess the kids are they don't have any question and they really understood the presentation or the discussion that we had a while ago. So let's proceed now to awarding the certificate. So let me read the citation. So University of Southern Philippines Foundation, Salinas Drive, Lahul, Cebu City, Guidance and Testing Services Center awards this certificate of appreciation to Ms. Reina Jane S. Casas as a resource speaker of the webinar session entitled Let's Fight Boredom to the pupils on October 7, 2020. Signed, Ms. Jennifer M. Labadia, MARVC, GPFP Director, and of course, Dr. Ernesto L. Alonor, Vice President for Academic Affairs. So, thank you so much, Miss Reina, for the wonderful and fruitful yet informative discussion in relation to boredom. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much too. It's my honor.
Do you want to thank somebody else, or do you want to plug someone, or to give a shout out to everyone?
Shout out. Shout out to all my friends and also to those who are reading right now. Ito na siya. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, my alma mater for inviting me as the resource speaker for this morning's topic. Thank you so much.
Okay, so that's it. So thank you so much, Serena, and have a great day. And kids, eight eight viewers in the house, thank you so much for being around. And this has been your MC or your host or your moderator, Patrick C. Flores, saying that um, boredom is a matter, not a reality. So that would be all. And thank you so much. And um, this webinar is signing off. So thank you and have a great day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.